So I hope everyone's doing really well today, and I want to make a video talking about a hero's journey, and talking about specifically your personal hero's journey, not the Joseph Campbell book. And oftentimes we gravitate towards the path of least resistance a lot of times in life. We do what is easy because everyone else is doing it. We look to our right and left, and that's usually what everyone does. And what I mean by the beaten path and the path of the least resistance, what I mean is oftentimes we gravitate towards, climbing up the academic ladder to go then the corporate ladder, and then we follow the 40-40 principle, so to speak. That's what I like to call it. You work 40 hours a week and you do that for 40 years and then you retire. It's pretty straightforward. That's what most people do these days. But I don't think that's enough differential in your own ability to make you stand out. And a lot of times I think we leave energy out on the table, so to speak. We don't harness that untapped potential within us, and we all have potential, but people don't know how to draw it out of them. And hope a lot of these videos, that's what I try and do, is try and make people realize their own potential, so to speak. Make people aware and raise the level of consciousness, belief, whatever you want to call it, of what is actually possible in their life. And the big why for me is helping people reach their true potential and live the greatest life imaginable. But you have to realize your own potential. We all have this key to unlock it. It's like our potential is a treasure chest, and we have this key, but people are holding it in their hands, and they're so unaware that they have it in their grasp to actually unlock it themselves. They think that they need someone to give them an opportunity to unlock their own potential. But if you just realize it for yourself that you are more capable than you can begin to imagine, the world just becomes your playground. But most people have a hard time believing that, because again, they look to the right and left and they realize, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this, supposed to be doing that, and they never just think outside the box. And I think one of the greatest ways to think outside the box is just to remove the box. It's to remove any kind of limitation you put on yourself, and to be really limitless. You know what I mean? We have to limit ourselves less. And it's only until I think we actually learn from our self-limits that we go beyond them. It's actually learning from our, parts of the realm of our own nature, so to speak. When oftentimes people have blamed their, misfortunes, and when they figure out this the hard way, which I have seen 1,000 times over, with a lot of people, where they do climb up the academic ladder and they've done exceptionally well, A-star students, and then they go up the corporate ladder, and they realize that there's some kind of drain on their life. They can't put a pin on it, so to speak. They can't really identify what it really is. They just have a tremendous drain in their life, and they're exhausted and they're miserable. That their optimism is nowhere to be found, and really ultimately their happiness isn't where it could possibly be if they actually push themselves away from that kind of beaten path. Because there is kind of uncharted territory we have to be willing to put ourselves in sometimes to experience that. And I really think that our character, it thrives off of challenge. It's kind of like with two tennis players. If a championship tennis player plays against an average tennis player, you probably realize the championship tennis player, his ability would go down. We match our environment. We adapt to the challenge. And when you're sort of thrown down with challenges which are outside of your comfort zone, you begin to rise to the challenge. Your ability actually begins to rise with it. And in that process, unknowingly, you're actually developing them character traits which can take you so far. And they're so valuable because you can't buy them, and it's kind of like the classic phrase: if you want to know how rich you are, think of all the things you have that money cannot buy. And I think an invincible character, like I've said before, is like a shelter in the storm. It just repels the resistance, and it's like a part in the Red Sea or something like that. And it's something which is overlooked, but I try to emphasize that on the videos quite a lot. Is something which I call character development, where you're learning about how to engage in certain opportunities, certain challenges to bring out the character you have within inside of you, so you can ultimately go that much further. If you want to explore the things besides just that beaten path, because that's where the fun lies. I think it is. I know a lot of people are the same now, where I've metaphorically run towards the sound of gunfire enough times now that I know there is so much more than off the beaten path than there is on it. And I realize now, from engaging in things I'm pretty uncomfortable with or not very good in, to learn how to do them properly. You realize when you don't engage in them challenges, them what I call really challenges or opportunities, in my opinion. From not engaging in them challenges, you realize how much you're actually missing out, and how much energy, metaphorically, you're leaving out on the table. And you have to be willing to throw down with your own demons sometimes to unlock that potential. And I call it, and this is kind of the reason behind this video, I call it outlasting the devil. And what I mean by that is, there comes a point, if you are going to start stepping outside the realm of your own comforts and stuff like that, and outside of the beaten path, you're going to start having to throw down with your own demons, and it is very scary. And you probably are going to fail a couple of times along the way, if not more, and that's normal. But that's the exciting thrill of it. I think that with the beaten path, it does provide a lot of comfort and safety and stuff like that. But when you start stepping outside of it, even though it is scary, that starts to become your new normal, and you start to build them character traits. You know, courage, relentlessness, patience, perseverance, and stuff like that. And your passion, and your soul just becomes on fire and stuff. And you start taking on more and more challenges the more you get used to it, and that becomes your new normal. And it is really learning to move towards, metaphorically, the sound of gunfire, so to speak, moving towards the sound of danger. And, when these storms and tsunamis and humongous tidal waves of chaos brew in our lives and stuff like that, we don't have to be so passive. We can throw down them, and it is not the end of the world, because you've changed your stress response. And that's what I mean as well. I think you have a different outlook by engaging in more challenges. So when these big kind of monstrous storms come in our life, metaphorically, of whether that be sadness or chaos or whatever it is, you've developed unknowingly, or if you're aware of it, them character traits which can actually push you through these challenging moments. And your character is that shelter in the storm. It does protect you and stuff, and it allows you to get through it that much more easier. So hope you've enjoyed that video, and like I said, try and outlast the devil. And what I mean by that, just to go over that before I finish this video, is that when you are throwing down your own demons, it is extremely uncomfortable. I mean, when I've been speaking this summer, I spoke 4 times. I've been doing things which I wouldn't normally do. I wouldn't normally go outside of the university to get speaking opportunities, but this summer I've tried to do that. Even though it's scary, if you can outlast the devil, if you can outrun him and dance with him long enough, eventually you'll surpass him. And that is the greatest feeling, because that is the greatest feeling of euphoria. Get a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment. And that's what I mean. Throw down with some challenges you might be uncomfortable with, because at the end of it, it produces such a sense of pride that you want to just keep trying more new things to unlock more of your potential. So I hope you've enjoyed that video, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much.